to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds and sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
There we go. Welcome back, my friends. I am really glad you're here. I want to welcome you to live stream number 100. It's January 9th, 2023, our first live stream of 2023. Is that right? It is the first one? No, did we have one already? Let's see. Oh, no, we had one last week. All right, well, anyway, Happy New Year again. It's good to see you. And I really am truly glad that you're here, because we have a special guest, and we're going to jump right into that in just a moment. So I want to tell you about that. So about tonight's show, well, you're not here to see me. You're here to see Steve from Steve's Small Engine Saloon. And we're very excited to have Steve as the first guest of 2023 on the My Cluttered Garage live stream. And it coincides with live stream number 100. All the planets are aligning to make this a great live stream. So glad you're here. If you are here for the first time, please say hi in the live chat so that we know that you're here. Also, let me know how you found the channel. Did you find the channel through Steve's channel, or have you found the channel on Facebook? You can also find it on YouTube, Instagram, and now TikTok. So yeah, let us welcome you. We have got an incredibly fine group of people here who come back Monday after Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and just get together. And as I often say, I am merely the facilitator. I could just sit here and watch the live chat where folks are speaking and chatting with each other. It's a beautiful thing. So, but anyway, please do say hi in the live chat, because we'd like to welcome you. Also, at any point during the live stream, could be right now, could be later. If you click that thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. You know, us YouTubers, we like that. We like the interaction, the thumbs up. The algorithm likes it, that. And, of course, subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. We're hoping to introduce some folks to Steve's channel who may not be familiar with it, although I think a lot of you probably are. So that's all we ask about. And also, if you're new to the channel, what we normally talk about here on the channel and here in the live stream is tractors and implements and DIY projects and life outdoors in the country. And one of the reasons I invited Steve was because I think there's a lot of crossover, because a lot of folks here have, everybody has small engines, lawnmowers, weed whackers, chainsaws. A lot of people have chainsaws, and we all have problems with that equipment too. So that's what we talk about. And again, if you're here for the first time, I hope you'll come back next week and join us again. That would be great. So let me click off of this. Oh, and by the way, stick around, because later there will be a sticker giveaway. Tonight I'm giving away the full pack bumper sticker and the two other stickers. The monochromatic version and the full color version will be given away. And I hear tell that Steve might be throwing a sticker in too. So could be a fun win for somebody tonight. And no limits. Anybody can enter. Even if you won before, I don't care. Enter again, because you're going to get my stuff, and we'll see what Steve has to offer up too. So that will be fun. And of course, during the live chat, again, for those of you who may be new, what we like to do during the live chat is type the word question followed by your question, and that helps stand out when we're looking at the live chat. Now, they go by so quickly, we're bound to miss questions and whatnot. So, if you feel like your question didn't get answered, or you feel free to cut and paste it again, and maybe we'll see it. Not to mention, again, the fine folks in the live chat will answer your question a lot of times. They're a lot smarter than I am, so it's kind of the format here, and it works. So, again, welcome. So what I want to do right now is introduce our guest, Steve. Thank you for being here, everybody. And before I introduce Steve, I just want to tell you a little about his channel, Steve's Small Engine Saloon. It's a great channel. He stands there at his shop and he talks about repairs, tips, and tricks for small engines. It's kind of a go-to channel for small engine repair. I discovered it probably like many of you did by searching for a specific problem, and there it is. He's got the solution for you. So it's not only entertaining, but it's information, and it's really well done. A lot of detail, and we appreciate that. But we'll talk to Steve and see if we can make him blush and talk about all that. So we will now introduce our guest, Steve from Steve's Small Engine Saloon.
Welcome back to Steve's Small Engine Saloon.
Steve's Small Engine Saloon, guys. Today, we're powered by Sneaky Weasel Logger.
Yeah, who you gonna call?
Once you know how to do this, it literally takes you 10 seconds to do it. So we got the spark plug out, we got the wire off, of course, and we need to tie that brake handle down now. You'll never see a landscaper do that for more than about 10-20 seconds. But if you keep on top of it, as the snow's coming down, it's so much easier than shoveling 2 feet tomorrow. You see the difference right there? That bolt wobbles back and forth like crazy.
Pretty soon, we're going to be posting a video where he teaches me about lubrication of chainsaws. What's the matter with you?
The high-speed screw is the one that's furthest away from your engine and the one that's closest to your air filter. And that wears your bar out.
You can write your own jokes for that one, kids.
Exactly. Is it worth fixing a bent crankshaft on a lawnmower, or is it worth just throwing it in the garbage? Champagne in a beer glass. What are you doing?
I know.
That's
right?
not fair. So until our next video, until the new year,
Cheers.
Happy New Year's, April. Happy New Year's
Happy
to
New
everybody
Year's.
on YouTube. And
April and Steve out.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Steve from Steve's Small Engine Saloon. How you doing tonight, Steve?
wow, that was quite the intro. Holy
The many
smokes.
the many stages of Steve's beard. I
Wow.
noticed.
Oh yeah, was there? Yeah. Wow, that was nice.
With, without, longer, shorter.
Oh man, Ed, thank you for inviting me. This is really cool, man. Really
Excellent.
appreciate it.
I really appreciate you being here, and just looking at the live chat, you've got quite the fan base out there, Steve. So a lot of people are also glad that you are here. So we're going to have a hard time keeping up with these live chat comments, and folks will have questions and comments, but we'll do our best. So anyway, just getting the thank yous out of the way. You and I thanked each other. That's great. We really appreciate that. And I am truly glad you're here. For those of you who have not followed Steve's channel, hopefully you'll discover it tonight. And after the live stream, you'll go over to Steve's Small Engine Saloon and check out his videos. And if you enjoy his content, you'll subscribe. I never ask people to actually subscribe. I ask people to look at the content. If you like it, if it's a fit for you, then subscribe to it.
I can't agree with you more.
Yeah,
I've said that many times to other people.
Yeah. So, we want to get you some subscribers because, you've only got 570,000 subscribers, Steve. We got to get that number up for you.
Well, it'd be kind of neat maybe in about 20 years from now if I had 1 million.
Hey, I see that.
That'd be
I
fun.
see that silver play button behind you on your what is that? Your
Oh,
left
yeah.
shoulder.
Yeah, right over there.
So that's for the first 100,000, correct?
100,000, yeah.
That's all. Well, you know what? You're more than halfway to the gold play button.
Yeah, it's going to take a while, but that'd be cool.
You never know. You never know.
Nice
And I know
nice to get recognition from YouTube itself.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that is nice. No, that's a great accomplishment, and I know it doesn't. It clearly the fame hasn't changed you much. You're still the same Steve. So you're putting out the same content, same great content,
Thanks.
and you're obviously focused on your message, which is what's important.
Yeah.
So, so anyway, let's talk about the channel a little bit. Then we'll go back and answer some questions. So you've had this channel for how many years now? When was your very first upload? Do you remember?
Yeah, in a month from now, it'll be 6 years since I put my first video out. So almost 6 years.
6 years. That's not very long to reach the level that you've reached. I don't think.
I don't know.
I don't. I think that's great. I think that's great.
Well,
So
I see it on both sides, Ed. I see some YouTubers out there have way more subscribers than I do, and they've only been YouTubing for not as long as me. But then there's other ones who have been YouTubing for twice as long as me that still only have like 500 subscribers, not 500,000, 500.
right.
So it goes both ways. It's yeah.
And those of us who are, I was going to say behind the camera, but we're actually in front of the camera. I guess in front of the camera, we know that it's really not about the subscribers. It's more about the views, and you get lots of views in your videos because, again, they are solving a problem for people, and that's what it's really all about. So again, you're just doing you're killing it with that, and we certainly appreciate you. Like I said, I discovered your channel just by doing a search. I wish I could remember the first video I saw of you, but obviously I guarantee it was something probably to do with why my chainsaw was acting up or why I couldn't get my weed whacker to start. One of those.
Did I help you?
It's absolutely 100%,
Awesome.
100%.
Good.
And it's amazing to me, you know, they say YouTube is the second most popular search engine, just behind Google.
Yep.
And I find myself also often skipping a Google search and just going right to YouTube and searching "how do I" or whatever. So it's a great resource for people.
Yeah,
So
it's a double whammy for Google because Google owns YouTube.
right. Yeah,
so
Google
actually owns the top two search engines.
Yeah, they've got the top
world,
two search engines, and I know that you see Facebook Reels and TikTok are trying to encroach on some of that, but I don't know if they are. And of course, YouTube sees that, and they're trying to compete by offering the shorts, which is the short vertical videos. And I know you're putting out some of those. People have kind of a love-hate relationship with shorts, but they can be fun. I find myself in the rabbit hole sometimes when watching shorts or TikTok videos or Facebook Reels. So 6 years ago, and what inspired you to put out that very first video? What made you say, you know what, I want to make a video about this and put it out there?
Oh man, it's kind of a long answer to that, to be honest with you. I'll just nutshell it a little bit for you.
That'd be great, sure.
But about 6 years ago, I was YouTube searching something myself on a little weed eater or something, and I saw a guy's YouTube video, and it was, to this day, it's probably still the worst YouTube video I've ever seen in my life. It was brutal.
We won't say what it is or who it is.
I can't even remember. It was a long time ago, but it was so bad. And I saw that he had 17,000 views or something like that on it. And I went in the house and I showed my wife this video. I said, "Look at this video." And she said, "What a piece of junk. Like, this is a horrible video." I said, "Look at it. He has 17,000 views. I can make a video way better than that instantly. And if he got 17,000 views, how many would I get? And I told my wife, April, I said, "I want to try doing a YouTube video." And she just said, "Absolutely, do it." You know, at that time, it was just a hobby. I just said, "I just want to see what's going to happen." I literally just wanted to do a quick video and just to see how many views I would get. It was like an experiment for me. And that's what made me put out my very first video. Yeah. Great.
And, you know, that's not uncommon because YouTube is filled with terrible videos and you know, it just is. And that's not to criticize people. And I had kind of a similar feeling when I started my channel, is that I was watching videos, again, searching for things, and I looked at it and I thought, wow, people are watching this and it's not that good. And again, I wasn't being arrogant to say, I think I can do better than this, or I think I can do a good job at least. So that's kind of what got me inspired too, is just thinking, all right, this is doable. It wasn't critical of the other channels. It was more inspirational for me to say, you know what, I could do this. So that's what brought us kind of where we are. Now, your early videos, was it the same? Are you following the same format, or have you kind of evolved over the years?
What do you mean by format?
Like standing there in your shop, talking to the camera,
Absolutely the same exact thing.
It works.
Except if you watch some of my older videos, like I saw in that intro that you did for me, some of those videos right there were my old camera. So it's really blurry.
Yeah.
And some of my old videos, even 5 or 6 years ago, I was really nervous in front of the camera. Even though I know I'm just talking to a camera, there's nobody here. And I knew that if I screw up on the camera, I can just delete that and start over again. I knew this, but I was still so nervous. And just filming my first few videos. And then so I got used to being in front of the camera, and then we got some lights and we got some better camera.
Yeah.
So it's clear video. But other than that, like you said, the format hasn't changed at all. My very first video is standing right here.
How about that?
The background has changed a little bit.
I was going to say you probably have more cans and bottles on your shelves back there.
It's probably the same amount, but they're just different now.
Just different.
Well, people send me stuff in the mail, and they're sending like half of those cans and bottles up there for people sending me empties of exotic beers and stuff like that for me to get. You can't see them, you can't read them or anything, but it's nice that people send me stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think, you found kind of a winning formula early on and a format, and when you watch your content, it's kind of like solving a problem with a buddy, and that I think that's the feeling that people get when they watch your videos, that you're not in any way condescending to them, that you're fixing it, you're solving it together, and it works. So I think people appreciate that. Hey, David, I want to thank you for that super chat there. Hack to open a beer with a chainsaw. Did you do that, Steve? Was that one of your videos? Yeah,
that's one of our earliest videos, and that's actually one of our least viewed videos. It has like no view. Dave White, man, I'm surprised you even saw that video because nobody has seen that video. It's still, I think it's in our playlist under Steve's Fun Stuff. We have a playlist called Steve's Fun Stuff, and it's in there.
That's fun. I may look for that. For sure. Yeah. So, now again, you can see questions here on the screen. If you have anything you want to pull out or shout at anybody, certainly feel free.
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to watch the comments and also pay attention to what you're saying at the same time.
Yeah, and GP, is that a compliment or a criticism there, Gord? Ed has aged so much in 100 live streams. I have, that's for sure. It happens quick.
See, 100 live streams you do. Does that mean 100 weeks?
Yes.
You do one a week?
Wow, every Monday night.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
We've been committed to every Monday night. I started, I guess, that would be about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It started because in the wintertime, I didn't have as much content because around here in this part of the state, in southern New Jersey on the East Coast, it's clay and mud, and winters, it doesn't really freeze a lot. So like right now, you got to put your muck boots on and walk around the property. So it was difficult to shoot any content because most of my content is outdoors. And I thought, well, let me do a live stream just to stay connected with folks. And then it just kind of continued every Monday night. The incredible group of people who do come back Monday after Monday, and we have a good time. So that's where it is, and I've only missed a couple. So we're going to keep going as long as I can. So far, my schedule has allowed it, and it's worked out pretty well. And
out of 100 weeks, you've only missed a couple. That's pretty good dedication.
I believe I've only missed 2, if I'm not mistaken.
That's pretty good dedication.
2, maybe 3. So yeah, it's gone well. Now, speaking of time, now you're over there in Canadian land. We have a lot of Canadian viewers and friends, and you're what is it, like 4 o'clock, 4:20 where you are, right?
It's 4:20 right now.
Yeah, so you got a lot of your day left. You still have some daylight.
Well, you know what? It's getting dark out. I'd be driving with my headlights on right now.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah,
okay.
It's getting there. Yeah.
I've got to say that the greatest part for me, and maybe for you too, in being a YouTube content creator, has been meeting people, either like this, or just through chats or comments. And I certainly have met an incredibly great number of our friendly Canadians, northern neighbors. A lot of great folks who watch here. So there are a lot of Canadian channels, content creators, who make very similar content to what I do. So it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah. So Manisto Key, is it pronounced Key or
Manisto
K?
Key. Yes, that's Mark over at
Key,
Manisto Key.
Yeah. So he says on the West Coast, question mark. Yes, I live on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. Just literally like this on a map. It's like this far north of Seattle.
Well, Mark is a fellow Canadian, so he'll know what you're talking about.
Oh, cool.
So, yes. And of course, so is Gord over there at GP Outdoors and Ross on the land. Yeah, see Ross here. Yeah, Canada. So.
Yay, Canada. He missed A. Yay, Canada, eh?
Right?
I got a Canadian joke for you. You want to hear this one?
Will I get it?
Probably not. You know what? Canadians will get this, and there's probably the odd American who will get this. But
Okay.
How does a Canadian spell Canada?
How's that?
Canada.
A. I get it. I get that one. So
that's a dad joke for Canadians.
I tease some of our other friends though that you spell words funny over there too, right?
Yeah, we drop like harbor or labor or color. We drop the U off of that, so it's just the O.
Oh no, so you spell it the way we do. So there's other parts of Canada that adds the U, right?
Oh, wait a second. We add the U. Sorry,
okay.
there you go. I got that backwards. Like you would spell, I'm going out to the ocean and I'm going to the harbor.
Right.
And you spell that with B-O-R. We do B-O-U-R.
Yeah, we tighten it up a bit. You add those extra letters and use that goofy metric system in Celsius and all that too.
It's 7 degrees Celsius outside right now.
That sounds terrible, but it's
not bad. It's 7 degrees above freezing, so there's no snow or anything where I live, but most of Canada has snow, but not me because I'm on Vancouver Island, baby. Oh yeah.
Nice. Tends to be is that a warmer climate?
Oh yeah, it's just an hour and 45 minutes south of us on the southern tip of Vancouver Island is Victoria. And that is the number one place in Canada for Canadians to retire.
Nice.
Because the weather is so consistent. It never gets super cold. It never gets super hot. It's just,
It's the Florida of Canada where all the people go to retire, I guess. So
yeah, you know what? Kind of like that. That's a good point. Yeah.
Hey, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Steve from Steve's Small Engine Saloon, and we're talking about the weather. How fascinating is that? I have a real question for you, though, Steve, here. This is from our friend Chris over at Watershed Overlook. And by the way, Chris is the one who made that great little promo video for the both of us. So I want to thank you, Chris, publicly for doing that. That was really kind of you. And Chris is doing a great job growing his channel over there. But Chris has a question about your expertise, because you are an expert. And what was the we talked about the channel name. Okay, we talked about that a little bit, but you can dive into that a little bit about the background with small engines and.
Okay, so you kind of touched on that a little bit, Ed. Chris is number 2 there. What is the source of inspiration for channel name? Before we put out our first video, my wife April and I talked about that. And we knew we had to come up with something different to stand out from all the other YouTubers doing what we wanted to do. And I thought to myself, it was pretty much instant for me. I thought to myself that who's my target audience, right? Who's my target market for who's going to watch my videos? And I knew that it's like 95% of everybody who watches my videos is going to be a man in his garage trying to figure out how to fix his weed eater or lawnmower or something, and he has a beer sitting beside him. And I wanted to kind of do the camaraderie thing where, okay, you're watching me. I want to go one-on-one with you here, even though I'm not. I want to seem like that.
Yeah.
You're having a beer in your garage trying to figure out your lawnmower. I'm going to have a beer with you, and we're going to figure this out together. Me and you are going to figure out your problem here. And it's more like a buddy thing, 2 guys sitting in the garage, figuring something out, having a beer.
Well, it works because that's exactly what I said. So that's it does work, and it's neat that you had that winning format from the beginning. So that was great.
It's went over really good.
Yeah. So can you talk about your background a little bit with small engine repair? Is
Yeah,
that
how did Steve gain his experience? Well, in 1987, I was 17 years old, long time ago, because I'm not 17 years old anymore, if you know what I mean.
yeah? I was about that age.
I
then, too.
started at the first small engine shop I ever worked at right in high school when I was 17 years old. And it's 100% just doing it, Chris. How'd Steve gain his experience? Just doing it, just working. And I've worked in so many different small engine shops. And a big one is I've worked with so many different small engine mechanics. So when you're working side by side with the same mechanic for 30 years, you're not learning nothing. You both know the same thing. But when you work over 30 years with 100 different mechanics, you gain so much tips and tricks and knowledge from these other mechanics you're working with. So that's the experience. Yeah. And, I've gone to a lot of technical update schools, Steel, Husqvarna, Echo, Honda used to put out some technical seminars like school,
Right.
and I've
Workshops
been
and
to,
whatnot.
yeah, I've been to like, I don't even know. I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, there's a saying. There's some kind of saying about the only experience for experience is experience, or something like that. I mean, you just have to do it.
You have to just do it. Exactly.
You do. Yeah. Hey, let me show you something you were talking about early on, and I've shared this with the folks here before. But my very first small engine that I worked on, one of my very first. Take a look at this. That's me.
That is cool.
With my go-kart when I was about 12 years old or so, and you see that I think it was a Briggs & Stratton 5-horsepower engine on the back.
Yep.
And I had a nylon string tied to the carburetor going down to the gas pedal there. That's what that white line is.
I thought that was your starter rope for a second, but now I see your starter ropes off the back.
That was the throttle cable. It was just a nylon string, and the other pedal, there was no brakes at all, so you just had to kind of glide into a stop or do a skid to stop. But that was it, and I learned a lot from that little engine. I tore that thing apart, and I had a brother-in-law who was very helpful and taught me a lot about it. But changed a lot of parts on that thing. So that was my introduction to small engines.
That's how you learn to fix a 5-horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine. You get in there and rip it apart and do it.
That's right.
Of course, sometimes you got to read on how to do it, but
right.
Reading something like the old repair manuals, paper versions.
Yeah.
They
or now you go to YouTube. Specs. We didn't have that. We didn't have YouTube.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, and you mentioned your wife April. So she's been participating in some of your videos. We saw her with the snowblower when you were blowing snow all over in the beginning there, and then she ended the video with you. So tell me about April. Now she's appearing in some of the videos. Is she doing any work with you, or just?
April has.
I mean, hands-on work, like.
Yeah, ever since day one, April has been behind this camera, behind the scenes. She takes care of we have a website, stevesmallenginesaloon.com. Like, I'm not talking about our YouTube channel,
right?
Like an actual website. That is 100% her. stevesmallenginesaloon.com. I have no idea how to be a webmaster. I don't even know how she takes care of that website. That's 100% her. The business end, Steve Small Engine Saloon is actually an incorporated company. And so we have workers' compensation, we have insurance. We actually pay our taxes and everything, man.
Yeah, good.
And
it's a business,
That is all April. Like 100%. All that business stuff behind the scenes, it's always has been April. And now she's just kind of, I've been bugging April for a long time to get on camera more.
Yeah.
And she's finally very comfortable. Like we did our live like last week on Thursday, I think. And we did a live and she was awesome. I was actually quite surprised. She was just like instantly talking and not camera shy and just.
That's great.
Outgoing. I was just like, wow, you're not camera shy anymore, and she's not.
That's
So
great.
because of that, now, yeah, she's going to be on a lot more videos now that she's
good.
comfortable. Yeah.
Good. And this is a full-time business for you. This content creation. You don't have you're not fixing for customers. You're really fixing for your customers are YouTube, correct?
That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
Yep. That's great.
Yeah, we're not open for business, like to the point where I put a sandwich board down at the end of my driveway and say, Steve Small Engine Saloon, open, come on in,
Right.
I do repairs for family, friends, and the occasional friend of a friend.
Right.
But that's it. Yeah, we're a working shop. I mean, I could do that. I have everything I need to do that, but I just concentrate really on videos and trying to do. YouTube is a lot of work, man.
Yeah. And there's no shortage of small engine repairs. There's always something going on for sure.
Absolutely.
So, before we move on, I have a couple more questions for you, but we talked about April. Speaking of women and females, though, you had a video or two with, it blew my mind, Steve. Sarah Wayne Callies was a guest, not on a live stream. She was in your shop.
Yeah.
And that she was in the video early on when you were working on the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Because I'm like, holy cow! What this guy's got connections.
I got that a lot from people saying, "How in the hell did you do that, Steve?" My simple answer to that is people. I got that like hundreds of comments saying, "How did you get her to be a guest on your show?" Because exactly. I mean, she is she's an actor. She's a director. She's a writer.
She was Lori Grimes in The Walking Dead. I mean, come on,
Exactly. Yeah. So did you saw the video?
Oh, absolutely.
And what did you think?
I thought it was incredible. It was great, and you did like a short little promo video, I think, too. And but what fun! It was just fun to see, and
it was. I thought it was educational. I thought it was informative and entertaining, because she actually helps me fix a chainsaw.
Right.
Well, right here when I'm sitting right now.
Yeah.
And so that was really fun. And a lot of people say, "Well, how did you do that?" And I simply said, "I asked," and she said yes. It really comes down to that. It's just simple as that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So obviously she was in the area. It wasn't like you phoned Hollywood and said, "Hey, can you fly over to Vancouver to make a video?" It was
yeah, she didn't have to take her personal jet over. No.
Right. Wow. Well, that is great. That's great. So a couple questions that I thought people would have. Excuse me. I wanted to ask you about non-ethanol gas, because where I live, I can't even get it. I mean, unless I go out of state and find it. Mm-hmm. So, do you have an opinion about that? I mean, should we all be going out of our way? You can buy it in Lowe's or Home Depot or other shops for like $25 a gallon.
Yeah.
In the cans. But what do you think? Should we be using that, or is it okay to use gas from the pump with 10% ethanol or whatever they put in now?
Okay, so there are a lot of landscapers. The biggest landscaper I know where I live, his annual fuel bill for just his handheld stuff, well, lawnmowers, riding lawnmowers and stuff too. Yeah. His annual fuel bill for his landscaping business is $25,000 a year.
Wow.
Okay, so it would be ridiculous for him to run non-ethanol gas. It would double it. It'd be 50,000. Mm-hmm. You do not need to have non-ethanol gas running in your equipment if you're running it all the time. You run the whole tank out, you fill it up again, and you just keep running it. It doesn't have time to build up. It's not sitting and deteriorating,
right,
and gumming up your carburetor and stuff like that.
There's a concern about water separation, right? Is that what it is?
But that's only. I mean, they have 5-gallon jugs, and they're going through one of those a day. It never has time to do that.
Right.
But for storing your equipment, when you put it away for 6 months, 5 months through the winter, you hang your weed eater up and it's sitting there with ethanol gas in it, then that's a bad thing. It's going to gum up in your carburetor. Yeah. And then you're going to have to take your carburetor apart.
So what about adding fuel additive? Does that work with ethanol gas, or is it? Still have the same problem? It does help.
Oh yeah. Fuel additive definitely works, depending on which one it is, but
right.
That does help. Ethanol gas. It's a huge controversy between small engine mechanics on YouTube. Huge. Yeah. Some of them say no fuel additives work, and then there's other YouTubers who prove it. They prove it works. And then you still see another one come in and say, you're full of it. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So well, it's a huge thing.
I went, I guess it was last year or so. I went to our, there's a local, not 45 minutes away or so, but there's a local airport. And I bought 10 gallons of aircraft fuel, which is non-ethanol. It's actually 100 octane. And the guy said, it's even got a little bit of lead in it. So I bought some of that, and I put that in my generator, and because that sits most of the time. And I mixed up some chainsaw fuel with it, or some two-stroke oil fuel with it, and I liked it. I mean, I hate the smell of gasoline, but when I was at the pump, the guy's like, he's like, have you ever smelled this? I'm like, no. He's like, you can smell this, smell it. And so he's like, and it smells different. It actually smells good. Yeah. It's very interesting.
So that is a good point. A lot of people have brought that up, that you can go get even if you don't have a gas pump, like a service station anywhere near you that has non-ethanol fuel, you go to your local airport and buy that. And you did. Yeah. Now, I tried that, and they wonon't sell it to me.
Is that right? Because I called first, and they were so sure. Yeah, come on out.
They have the pump there. They would probably sell it to me if I was buying like 20 gallons or a drum. They would probably sell it to me, but they're not going to take a 1 gallon can and go out and fill it up for you and charge you for that, because how the guy explained it to me, it's obviously not like this where you live, but where I live at the Nanaimo airport, they have to account for every gallon of that aviation fuel. They have to account to where that went. They actually, when they fill up a plane or a helicopter, they actually write down who bought that and what plane or aircraft that went in.
Interesting.
So they don't want to sell it.
Yeah. And like I said, I had bought 10 or 15 gallons. And this guy said that he has people come in with classic cars and fill them up. That's it. So that was kind of neat. But I get that makes sense. I know that the aviation industry obviously is everything's about documentation. I suppose if a plane goes down, they want to know what fuel was in there and where they purchased it, when they got it, and whatnot. So interesting though. Interesting. So I haven't gone back because I think this was pre-pandemic, and it was almost twice the price, like you said. And I imagine now it's going to be, well, again, at least twice the price. So I haven't gone back. Plus, it's not convenient. Again, it's like 45-minute ride for me, and I thought the same thing that you said. If I'm burning through the gas, what does it matter? So
it doesn't. I honestly do not believe that it matters.
Yeah. Now with that, my recent video, I showed I showed the procedure I do for my generator. I do a monthly test where I do run it just to keep the fuel moving through it. I do add fuel additive to it. And one or two comments. Now, what I do when I shut down the generator is I just turn the fuel off and I let it just run out of fuel with no load on it. And some people had commented that you're not supposed to let an engine run out of fuel like that. You have an opinion about that?
Yeah, I think whoever told you that, I think they're probably more talking about two-stroke, two-cycle engines, like chainsaws.
Okay, right.
When you run a chainsaw, especially out of fuel, it starts sucking air in, and then it runs leaner, and your RPMs will go up.
Oh, okay.
And you can actually, like, if you're running a chainsaw, cutting a piece of wood full blast, and it runs out of gas, and then you hear your RPMs go woo because now it's sucking some air too. You can actually really damage your chainsaw by doing that.
All right.
So that's probably what that guy was talking about.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
There's no problem running a four-stroke like your lawnmower or anything 4-stroke, 4-cycle engine with running it out of fuel, there's no problem with that. It's not
Yeah.
hurting your engine.
Yeah. Well, and again, with a generator, I do know that you should not run it out of fuel if it's under load. You shouldn't turn it off under load either. You need to remove the load from the generator first, because I guess as it winds down, that could cause some damage to the generator part, not the engine part necessarily. So, but
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that before too. I've never.
That makes a lot of sense. And of course, with a chainsaw, the 2-stroke fuel is fuel and lubricant at the same time. So if you're running leaner, now you're getting less lubricant on that cylinder, and you can score it or whatever.
100%. You're absolutely right. Yep.
Interesting. Let's look through these comments and see if we have any specific questions. If you guys have anything for Steve, make sure that you post your question in the live chat. We'll give these stickers away in a few minutes. We're going to wrap up by about 8 o'clock. We try to keep this show to about an hour to respect people's time and do what we can to keep things moving. So let's look again, see if there's any specific questions for you. Anything you want to ask Steve or say to Steve. How about using traditional engine oil versus synthetic? Does that matter for small engines too much, or?
Holy smokes, that is a huge controversy.
Another debate.
Another huge debate between small engine mechanics.
Man, I'm opening the can tonight.
Yeah, it's so synthetic engine oil is man-made, and then the regular, a lot of mechanics call that dinosaur oil.
Yeah.
Because it comes from the ground. It's
right.
Apparently billion-year-old dinosaurs decomposed, and that's where crude oil comes from.
Right.
A lot of people will say because synthetic motor oil is so slippery and so good that to break in your engine, the very first oil you ever put in a brand new engine, you should never use synthetic. Because it's so slippery, and the rings and the piston and the rings and the cylinder don't have time to wear in properly.
Right.
If it's synthetic, but after you use dinosaur oil first and you break your engine in for the first 5 to 8 hours, and then change it and then put synthetic in, then your engine will last a lot longer. Now, how am I supposed to test that? You know what I mean? Everybody has their opinion on that. I want to test that, but it would take me 10 years to test something like that.
I was going to say you'd have to have an engine 20 years and see the difference and run them the same way. And
how can I prove that if that works or doesn't work? It's impossible.
Yeah. Well, and I've had lawnmowers, which they're almost disposable these days. Some of this equipment that they make.
Yeah.
But I had a mower that we got from one of the big box stores. And it was decent. It was like a 25 horsepower Kohler mower, and we had it for over 10 years. I ran traditional oil. I never put synthetic in it. Yeah. I probably didn't change it as often as I should have. I know I didn't. And I mean, that Kohler engine outlasted the whole mower. The whole mower fell apart by the time, and that engine was still absolutely perfect. So I imagine there's probably not a lot of harm in running.
It's a difference. If you're running a NASCAR or a Formula One car, well, okay, let's talk about that. But it's a freaking lawnmower engine. Like, who cares what kind of put engine oil in it?
Yeah,
it's like you just said, you didn't use synthetic, and it outlasted the whole rest of the.
Yeah, and I think in my entire life, I think I had one lawnmower engine go bad where it actually threw a rod and knocked a quarter size hole in the side of the crankcase, and that engine was obviously bad. But that was the only engine that ever flew apart on me. That was an old Snapper lawnmower. But I mean, they hold up really well. It seems to me. And then of course I see somebody talking about synthetic 2-cycle oil. I guess that's kind of the same
concept, yeah.
Same concept, same
argument. And again, how can anybody prove that synthetic oil is better in your gasoline than non-synthetic oil running it in your chainsaw?
Yeah.
I know the companies kind of, they do their R&D, research and development on it, and they can say that, but I think they're just educated guesses. Like, how do you know? Like,
well, there is the benefit of a longer cycle time between services with synthetic, right?
Yeah.
Like we used to change our vehicle oil every 3,000 miles. Now it's every 5,000 miles.
Hey,
So
there's some newer vehicles out. The owner's manual says right in there 15,000 miles.
yeah,
You don't need to change your oil for every 3,000. Used to, like you just said, 3,000 miles.
right,
For
which
us,
is nothing.
4,000 kilometers. Yeah,
Right.
it's like what a waste of money and hard on the environment. Like,
Yeah, yeah. So, and just because the oil turns black doesn't mean it's not working anymore. But anyway, there you go. Kevin Brewer has a 30-year-old truck and just used standard oil, so that works too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. David Martin has 170K on his Toyota. Uses synthetic. Yeah, I mean, all my vehicles get oil changes with synthetic, but my small engines I've tended to use just standard. What is it? 10W40 is kind of a standard 4-cycle engine oil.
The when you go to like straight 30 weight 10, 30, 5 W40, all that, it's all temperature related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you lived in the Mojave Desert running a lawnmower, not that you would in the Mojave Desert, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hot there anyway. You wouldn't be using the same oil that I put in my riding lawnmower.
Right.
On Vancouver Island. Temperature is completely different.
Yeah.
There's graphs out there that you can get that show you exactly what grade of oil do I need to put in mine, and it just strictly temperature ranges.
Right.
If you're between 10 degrees and Celsius and 40 degrees Celsius, then you use this oil, and it's easy to find. You just Google that and you'll know what kind.
This is kind of a fun fact. Now, Edward Joyce and his wife Colleen, they're longtime viewers. They're very active here on the channel. And Ed's saying that his wife Colleen developed AMSOIL that lasts 10 years or 1 million miles. She was the lead chemist for BASF. That's interesting. Wow, Colleen, that's very impressive. Edward Joyce married a very smart person, for sure.
The oil itself lasts for that long. Like you never have to change your oil.
I guess so. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. I've had vehicles that you never needed to change the oil because you were adding a quart every month, so it was always fresh oil.
You go to the gas station and you top it up with gas and fill it with oil.
That's right. Check the gas and fill the oil.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So, great. I saw a question here a moment ago. We'll do one here that's kind of a dive deep, and then we'll do a couple fun things and wrap up. But Keegan Timmer has a very specific question about a MS-170 steel chainsaw. About it, it pulls very hard when it's hot. Have you seen that? Anything you can add to that?
Yeah, it's kind of a new one for me. I actually don't personally like the MS-170 because it has a non-adjustable carburetor on it. There's no low speed, no high speed screw on that thing. It's just, it is what it is.
Right.
That's really odd, Keegan, that you say that. When it's hot, it pulls over very hard. Usually it's the other way around.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's usually it pulls over harder when it's cold. Once it's warm, it's just no problem. Just
yeah. It almost sounds like something's expanding or getting like something binding in there. I don't know.
But then he pulls it over a few times and then it loosens up when it's hard. That could be something in your engine, or that could also be something in your starter mechanism itself, in the actual rewind
in the recoil. Yeah.
But then that should not change. If it was the recoil, it wouldn't change from hot to cold, really. So
yeah. And if it was the clutch that was stuck, I guess when you pull it hot, you'd see the chain moving.
Exactly that.
So I guess maybe check that to see if the clutch is stuck or engaged somehow. So,
that's actually a good point, Ed. Yeah. Yeah, Keegan, when you pull that over when it's hot, is the chain turning as you're pulling the rope? Is the chain moving? Because that could be a clutch problem, like Ed just said.
Yeah.
And that would make it actually harder to pull over. Yeah. Good call, Ed.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. Okay, and we kind of talked about this from Richard's talking about how to ready a small engine for winter storage. Obviously, if you can get non-ethanol fuel to put in there, or fuel treatment, or I'm guessing drain it, right? Drain the fuel tank, drain the carb, so it sits dry. Is that? I mean, people tend to do that.
Yeah,
For storage.
I've been experimenting for 6 years on that question, and what I've came up with now. Fuel stabilizer does work. Non-ethanol fuel does help. Draining it does help. But then again, I've seen 4-stroke engines where you drain it and the next spring, the main jet is crusted up, even though there's no fuel in it.
Right.
It's still crusted up and it seals in because it's dry.
Right. Yeah, because that would make sense, because if you have droplets of fuel and they evaporate, they're going to leave behind whatever solids are in there.
That happens. So in my opinion, after experimenting with that kind of winter storage and winterizing, people call it, or long-term storage, I think that, and I think you just said this, Ed, a little while ago, that you run it every month.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's small engine mechanics. Most of them call that exercising your equipment.
Right.
You leave it right full of fuel, so there's no condensation can get in there. So there's no air gap in your fuel tank.
Right.
So no condensation. You leave it full. Sure, put some stabilizer in it if you want to, but the surefire way to know if it's going to start in the spring when you need it is to start it every month. Set your alarm on your phone for the first day of every month, and go out and run your equipment for 5 minutes. And what that does, now it's because you got a little bit of gas in that float bowl, and that little bit of gas goes bad faster than a large amount of gas.
Right.
So what you're doing, you run it for 5 minutes, and it's clearing all the old gas out of that bowl and refilling the bowl with the fresh stuff that's not as bad in the tank. And then when I need this to use this lawnmower, I know it's going to start because it just did a month ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the point of exercising your equipment.
And there it is, the first Saturday of every month. I was going to focus on that. I can't really see it. Anyway, first Saturday of every month, run the generator. It comes up as an alarm.
Oh, especially a generator.
Yeah.
Especially a generator, because
they sit so long. They rarely get used. I mean, it's the one tool that you want to have, but you don't really want to have to use it.
And when you need it the most, it doesn't start because it's been sitting there for 2 years.
That's right. So, excellent. Well, hey, Steve, let's do the sticker giveaway, and I think you're going to contribute to this. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give away my full sticker pack here, and you've got something there on your end. I think that you're gonna.
I got Steve Small Insulin sticker, but I'll throw in a couple of these, and I got some other stickers that I'll put in there too, and some business cards, stuff like that.
Awesome, that's great. So again, for those of you who are new to the channel, we do this every week, a giveaway. And we'll do it live right now. What we're going to do is you're going to have you type a phrase in the live chat. You're going to type exactly what I show you, and then we'll do a random comment picker, and we'll pick the winner tonight. There are no restrictions. If you won before, that's okay. No matter where you live, you can enter. Now, just a reminder: next week I'm doing a pretty big giveaway for me, and that is one of those Gulu GP 4000 jump starters. It was given to me by a company, and I said I'd like to give one away. So we're going to give that away next Monday to our U.S. and Canada friends. So if you come back next week, you could win it's like a $200 jump pack. So that'll be fun. But tonight is a sticker giveaway. So in the live chat, let me set this up and show you what we need to do here. And you're going to type in the live chat hashtag LS100, which stands for Livestream 100. So in the live chat, type LS100, and then we'll do a random comment picker. Thank you, David White, for that super sticker. I appreciate that. So we'll let these comments come in and type it just like Sharon did there. Hashtag LS100 can be all uppercase, can be lowercase. Make sure there's no spaces between the hashtag. There you go. JA did lowercase LS100. That works too. And if you enter more than once, it'll kick out your extra entry. So you only need to enter one time. Sarah and Tim, make sure you put the hashtag on there. It's got to be hashtag LS100. And Lee doing that.
Hey, Ed, what are you going to do if I win?
I'm going to send it to you. No restrictions, man. You can win. I'd be honored to send my stickers to you. Maybe we'll get some over to you anyway.
Oh, we'll do that anyway. Yeah, me and you'll definitely sticker swap just between you and I, yeah.
That's great. So we'll let a few of these roll in here. We've got 60 entries coming in so far, which is fun.
Does it matter if it's lowercase ls or?
Does not matter. It'll as long as there's no space. You have to use the hashtag LS100. Can be uppercase, lowercase, no space, and it will work. So, hey James. James just stopped in. He's another of your fellow Canadians. Has a great channel over there, Killing It Country. But he's in a meeting, so he snuck in just to say hi. So thanks, James. Thanks for stopping by.
Cool.
All right, I'm going to hit this draw. So you've had plenty of time to enter hashtag LS100, and we will we'll hit the draw button here and see what happens. Right.
Go, Steve.
I was going to put some music on there, but here we go. Hit the draw. Drum roll. Our winner for tonight, for our sticker and Steve's 2011 Red Rider. Congratulations. I don't recognize that name, so welcome to the live stream. Glad to have you here. Congratulations, 2011 Red Rider. You've won my stickers and Steve's stickers. So what I need for you to do, 2011 Red Rider, is to send an email to me with your name and your postal address. Send me an email at contactmcgtv@gmail.com and provide your name and your postal address, and I'll share that with Steve as well, and he'll send his items over to you as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say. As soon as you get his mailing address, text me that, and then I'll shoot an envelope out to Red Rider also.
I will forward that right to you. So congratulations, Red Rider. Excellent. Well, we're going to wrap up here in just a moment, but let's do something fun here for a moment, Steve.
Hey, that music you're playing is not copyrighted, I hope.
It's not.
Excellent.
I pay royalties for that. I do indeed. I just need to get rid of this banner. What we're going to do now, before we wrap up, we might run over by a minute or two, but I thought this would be fun just to get to know Steve a little bit better. We'll do some rapid-fire questions. If you're ready for this, Steve, and those of you out there watching, you can enter in the live chat as well if you like, but we're going to go through this quickly. Just, again, to get to know Steve a little better with rapid fire. Steve, first thing that comes to your mind.
What do you mean, though? Oh, you
Questions.
were saying, sorry.
That's all right. Question for Steve. Home Depot or Lowe's? No wrong answer.
Home Depot.
Plain or pepperoni?
Oh, pepperoni.
Clint Eastwood or Harrison Ford?
Oh, I got to go with Harrison Ford. I got to go with Han Solo. Yeah.
Harrison Ford on that one? Okay. Big one here. Tecumseh or Briggs?
Oh, Briggs. Oh, yeah. Not many small engine mechanics out there like Tecumseh's.
How about that? I've always been a Briggs fan myself. Good answer. Bud or Coors?
Either free or cold. I don't care.
Either way. All right. Summer or winter? I know it doesn't matter too much to you there, right?
Yeah, summer. I don't like being cold.
All right. Automatic or manual transmission?
Manual. My truck. I got a Nissan Frontier. It's got 6-speed in it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Broccoli or Brussels sprouts?
Oh, broccoli.
All right. Here's the big one. Final question.
Okay.
Steel or Husqvarna?
Oh, I was hoping you would not say that. I'm glad you waited till the last. I was wondering if you were going to put that.
We could break the internet with this answer if you're going to answer it.
It's impossible to say because there are two top manufacturers in the world. Steel makes some awesome stuff, and they also make some junk. Husqvarna makes some junk, and same thing. It makes some good stuff, some bad stuff. They are both equally professional companies. They're huge. I've been dealer for both of them for so long. Dealing with them, like actually the companies themselves for like warranty approval, technical advice, all that stuff, they're both absolutely the same. They're both awesome companies. Yeah.
I didn't expect any other answer from you, Steve. It's
Hey, if I had one or the other, hey, if you said Steel or Ryobi, guess who what I would say?
yeah, that one's easier, right? Yeah. This is the closest thing to a political debate that we'll get to on the channel here. No, we're not touching that one. Right. So, excellent answer. And I've heard people say, that they're both great and really go with wherever you're going to get local service. You're going to need that availability. So, anyway, Steve, I want to thank you again for joining me tonight and chatting with the fine folks here on the live stream. I really enjoyed talking with you. You're a great guy, great channel. And again, for those of you who may not have checked out Steve's Small Engine Saloon on YouTube, go over there and check it out. If you like what you see, subscribe to that. I know you're also on Facebook and now TikTok. I don't know if you have an Instagram account, but
yeah, that's the only 4 right there.
Right.
Yep,
so
Instagram's
basically all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any other ones. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram.
Did you say Twitter?
Oh, no, I didn't say Twitter.
What was the other one you said?
I said YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
And Twitter.
4.
And that's all of them.
Oh, you're Twitter too?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's 5. All right. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Well, you can find Steve anywhere. So great. Anyway, thank you, Steve. I really do appreciate it. It's been a great conversation, and I hope you'll come back and join us again.
Absolutely. I'm really happy again that you invited me and asked me to come on. That email, when you sent me that email, it was right out of the blue.
Yeah.
Asked me to be a guest, and I was just instantaneously. I just read that and went, yeah, absolutely.
You did, and I really appreciate that response too. So excellent. Well, we'll see you again maybe before you reach the 1 million, but you're well on your way, and we'll be watching closely. So,
and I'm also very honored to be your 100th.
100th, and not only 100th live stream, but also the first guest of 2023. So,
yes, right, because you did a live stream, but you had no guest on it earlier.
Right. Yeah. So your first guest of 2023, and of course, I always refer back to our friend John Ritter from the channel A Ritter Bit Will Do. John has a great channel with his Kubota BX as the primary focus on that. John Ritter was my very, very first live stream guest. We had a good time a couple of years ago. So he helped start this thing off with me by being my very first guest. So that's great. So
I bet you a lot of people call him Jack Tripper.
They might. I teased him about John Ritter from Three's Company.
Yeah.
So he shared the name from that too. But anyway, it's after 8. Steve, again, thanks so much. I really do appreciate it. And I hope that we see you again.
Right.
Folks watching, have a great week. It's a great way to start at the Monday. I hope you'll join me next week just to chat and see what's happening. We'll give away that Gulu jump starter. Again, subscribe to Steve's channel if you like it. If you're new to my channel, I'd really appreciate it and be humbled if you hop on over there and subscribe as well. So thanks again, everybody, and have a great, great week.
Steve. Welcome back to Steve's.
Oops, wrong one. Take care.
Yep.